Do you think insects could take over the world? Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that six-legged creatures rule the earth. They've filled the cities. There are billions of them. And they're everywhere, in your food, in your home, and maybe even on you. But what if they've already taken over and we just haven't noticed? Insects are the most successful and numerous form of life on the planet. For every human, there are about 200 million insects. Their total weight exceeds that of all humans, elephants, and whales combined. They live everywhere, from volcanoes to glaciers. If humans could survive like cockroaches, we would endure a nuclear winter and even bad TikTok memes. Why are insects so resilient? First, diversity: more than 1 million species. If you had a photo album with pictures of all insect species and flipped through one per second, you'd finish in about 11 years. Second, small size, which means they need fewer resources and can hide more easily. Third, incredible reproduction. A mosquito can leave hundreds of offspring in its lifetime. And finally, adaptability: from predators to vegans, from underground dwellers to flying acrobats. Do we stand a chance against them? If an insect uprising happened, it probably wouldn't be an epic battle, but rather an ecological disaster. Many insects depend on plants and climate, and humans are great at changing the climate, though not always in a good way. But in the insects versus humans simulation, our main trump card would be technology. The thing is, we depend on insects just as much as they depend on us. How are insects already running the world? Pollination: 75% of agricultural crops rely on insect pollinators. Organic matter recycling: without beetle cleaners, the planet would be buried in waste faster than you can take out the trash. Food for other animals, otherwise known as the food chain. Without insects, entire ecosystems would collapse. And forget about enjoying a juicy steak of marbled beef. Yes, in essence, insects are a free food delivery service, just for birds, frogs, and spiders. Okay, but let's imagine what would happen if insects disappeared. First, plants would die, then agriculture would collapse, and after that ecosystems would fall apart, leading to mass extinction of animals. We'd be left without meat and most other food products. And after a couple of years, we might even start missing. And what if the opposite happened? Insects became dominant. Here, biology sets limits. Insects breathe through tracheae, and their size is limited by the amount of oxygen. In ancient times, when oxygen levels were higher, there really were dragonflies the size of seagulls. One of these dragonflies was Meganura. It lived in the late Carboniferous period, around 305 to 99 million years ago. Its wingspan reached about 70 centimeters, comparable to that of a small seagull. Such large size was possible because back then the atmosphere contained about 35% oxygen, compared to 21% today. This allowed insects with tracheal breathing systems to grow much larger than modern species. So, Godzilla-sized cockroaches are fantasy, but the gradual occupation of ecological niches is already a reality. They adapt faster than we can realize what's happening. The most resilient creature of all is the tardigrade. Yes, that strange little thing. It's a microscopic animal less than a millimeter long, looking a bit like a plush monster. But this plushie can survive temperatures from 273°C to plus 150°C, withstand pressure 6 times greater than at the bottom of the Mariana Trench at 660 megapascals, survive in space, and live for decades without water or food. In a sense, insects are already the masters of the planet. They're more numerous, older, and will outlive us. Especially cockroaches, in the event of a nuclear war. How and why I think I'll tell you in the next video. For insects, we're just temporary neighbors, and a source of sweet meals, especially for mosquitoes. So if someone asks you tomorrow, will insects take over the world? Say, they already have. They're just doing it quietly. Even though we've only got 2 hands, I think that's enough to click the subscribe button and leave a like. See you next time.